What's going on YouTube? Joe Miner 3131 back again alongside JS Miner 87 here on the DFS Quarry channel on YouTube. Here to break down the big giant 11 game slate for Thursday, December 6, 2018. Jared, how you doing tonight?
Well, I mean, hey, we're getting here a little bit early. I think Raiders fans probably still eating a little dinner here, but yeah, you're pretty good so far. I mean, Jake Allen still got that Boulder Award, but other than that, it's from a DFS perspective here. We're status quo here. We don't know yet.
Yeah, I'm just getting started with everything really. 8 o'clock start time tonight for the first game. The next two are at 10:30. I try to build a lineup or two for that late slate as we go through this here. I had a crap day today, man. You just total garbage, horrible day. I sit at a freaking scrapyard in New Jersey all day, man. I mean, I got over there like 10 o'clock in the morning, didn't leave there until 2:30 this afternoon. And anybody who's ever been in New Jersey, was in South Plainfield area, so jumping on 287 at that time in a tractor trailer truck, heavy as shit. Scales are open everywhere. It was just it was a bad day. Bad day. That's all I can say. Thank God for Roach coaches. If not, I'd have starved, I think. So as far as that goes, that was a highlight of my day because DFS really didn't get started too much, and we're on here early. I got an early day tomorrow, so we got to get this knocked out with such a large slate. Before we get started, if you end up liking the video, give us a thumbs up. We appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to. We appreciate that. We're shooting for 100 subscribers. We hit that 100 subscribers, we're gonna have a contest, give away a free NHL hat to the winner and his choice of hat, whichever team he prefer. Secondly, get a comment yesterday from Nick on the video yesterday. Just to clarify, Nick, we truly don't think that teams are crap or anything like that. It's just a DFS perspective of it. I dog my own team constantly, but we will do the best we can to avoid destroying teams, I guess, so to speak. I don't set out to intentionally insult anyone or any team, so I do apologize for that, and I do speak for Jared when I do say that. With that being said, we appreciate you subscribing to the channel, man. We'd love to see you enter the contest. We are going to hit that 100 subscriber mark. I'm almost certain of that. And as soon as we do, we're going to have that contest and give away a hat, man. With that being said, like we said before, guys, we appreciate all comments, good, bad, indifferent. Otherwise, it's all the same. We appreciate the feedback. You want to call us assholes and dickheads? Fine by me, man. I've been called just a little bit worse than that. Probably some stuff I wouldn't be able to say here. So with all that being said, hope everybody jumps into the live chat, comments along, give us some of your picks. We're going to shoot ours out at you. And however it works out, it works out. So, Jared, you ready to jump into this massive slate?
Yes, sir. Let's get her rolling.
All right. In such a large slate, man, I'm not really going to talk about teams I'm not going to play very much. So, some of the games I will be rather quick through them. But with that being said, first game on the slate, Columbus Blue Jackets heading into Philadelphia to take on the Philadelphia Flyers, which is my hometown team I'm not a fan of. We have an over-under 6 in this game. Philly's a -110 home favorite. Should be Bobrovsky and Stolarz. Had trouble finding any kind of really. I went with left wing lock on Stolarz. Daily faceoff had nobody listed. Jared, what do you like here in this game?
Yeah, you almost want to say this is a light game stack here. Columbus getting was it 9 goals put up against them the other night. or last night, I should say. And Philadelphia just not having a real good goalie situation here. We know that Philly is very bad and very poor on the penalty kill here. And at home, they are, cemented themselves at the 29th best penalty kill of the league at 70%. And you look at Columbus, they're actually 8-5 on the road, 3.4 chances per game on the power play, and they're in 14th in the league, so a little bit better than halfway. So that being said here, Columbus, I think you go right to the well here, back to this first line, and that's Panarin, that's Luke Dubois, and that's Atkinson. Atkinson, hat trick last night, I believe, so he's right back in play at 7,300. I still like Josh Anderson. I don't understand why Daily Faceoff can't put a salary on him. There's a few guys like that where they just never update the salary. But Josh Anderson certainly in play, I believe, as well. You look down here on this power play, not much production for them. So maybe you just want to stick with that first line pair. Looks like you got Panarin and Werenski on that second power play unit with one power play point each in the past 5. And then you got Atkinson, Wenberg, and Luke Dubois with one power play point in the last 5. So they haven't converted recently, but going up against a very bad penalty kill against Philly, I think there's a chance there. Defensively here, Werenski's starting to put himself in play at 4,800. Seth Jones, as we know, 6,200. I'm only playing Seth Jones if I pair my forwards. I don't know if I want a 4-person stack from Columbus. I'm leaning more towards 2 when I think about how I'm going to build my lineup tomorrow. And Ryan Murray at 4,400 with 4 assists, 12 shots, 8 blocks. He's starting to make himself valuable as well. Defensive, and from a goalie standpoint, no Bobrovsky for me. From Philly's side, you got to look at what this first line's done, and that's where their scoring is. So it's Claude Giroux, it's Sean Couturier, it's Travis Konechny. In one lineup building, I certainly wouldn't mind throwing the whole 3-person stack right there. I don't look for Bobrovsky to have a better game than what he did the other night or last night either. So I think that you're going to have some plays on the Philly side as well. Defensively speaking, maybe Provorov here, 4,300. You see Gostisbehere at 4,900 has done absolutely nothing in the past 5 games. So I think it's solely Provorov if you wanted to have any interest in defense here for Philly, which, let's see. I mean, you got to think about it. Columbus has given up 5 goals to defensemen here, which since I've been tracking, looks like about the 3rd highest per team here. Philly, not so much giving up goals against defensemen. So, but something to keep in mind. Maybe you would want to just play Gostisbehere from that goal standpoint. Maybe he's going to get a goal tomorrow. Never know. But looking at it, no Stellaris for me tomorrow either.
I'll start with the goalies. Definitely no Stellaris for me. Bobrovsky, I'm not certain yet. I don't want to rule him out here. I know Philly did beat Pittsburgh, but interstate rivalry, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Whole thing. Maybe they were a little psyched up for this game. To be honest with you, I'm not going to – I'm staying away from Philly totally. I'm not going to play them, man. We got 22 teams to pick from here, and I don't think Philly's going to be in play. So I'll avoid them. But Columbus, that top line, I'm interested in. The bread man, Panarin, he's in play, 5,800. Luke Dubois at 5,600 is in play. Cam Atkinson, 7,300, certainly in play. If you want to dip down a little bit, I wouldn't mind grabbing a quick piece of Boone Jenner at 4,500 and Josh Anderson as a pairing. Nick Foligno, man, I can't ever get him right. So If I say I'm going to play him, don't play him. If I say I'm going to play him, I know. See, if I say that I'm not going to play him, play him. If I say I'm going to play him, avoid him like the plague, man. But honestly, I really like Columbus here for a pretty solid win. Werenski's in play certainly at 4,800 defensively. Seth Jones a little pricey at 6,200, but if we're gonna go for the full stack here of Columbus up against Philly, I don't mind Seth Jones either at that price. Ryan Murray, take a look at him. 12 shots and 8 blocks over the last 5 games, 21 minutes ice time, 20 and a half anyway. 4,400 price tag is beautiful. Savard slowed down a little bit. So it's really Murray, Werenski, and Seth Jones for me. And like I said, I'll keep Bobrovsky in play. And I'm not going to play any Philly. Jared did a pretty good job at that, talking about them. Here, I'll throw something out about Philly. Look for one of them defensemen, Gus Despair or Provorov to get traded soon here. Next game coming up. New York Islanders heading into Pittsburgh to take on the Pittsburgh Penguins. I'm a homer for the Pens. Pittsburgh is a minus 190 favorite. 6.5 over under here. Pittsburgh should not be a minus 190 favorite. Bottom line. Looks like it's going to be Thomas Greiss and Casey DeSmith here. Jared, what do you like in this one?
Well, I think yesterday the Avalanche broke the Penguins streak. That I listened to the game. The Penguins had went 8 games without giving up a power play goal, and it was a pretty chippy play even on that power play here. So, looking at this Islanders side, definitely in need of a win, I think. Islanders side, I mean, you can expect the Pittsburgh to give up goals. It's just wondering where they're gonna go. I'd like to say run Anders Lee for the shots here, but I'm really leaning towards Josh Bailey being a solid play tomorrow. 3 points in the last 5, only 4 shots. But I think the second line is going to fare better against the Penguins here tomorrow. So I'm more towards Barzal Bailey. And in a 10-game slate, I don't even know if I'm going to run these guys at all. Johnny Boychuk, 3,600 defenseman. Hey, he's going to get you that 1 point at a cheap price. Let's see here. Maybe Ryan Pulak at 4,100 could be in play as well. Certainly Scott Mayfield, 4 assists in 5 games at 3,800. Another great solid play as well. Goalies here, Thomas Greiss. Thomas Greiss might be in play, assuming, let's say, Pittsburgh gets 34 shots and Pittsburgh comes out a little stale, like we've known them to be inconsistent. They could be in play. You go over to the Pittsburgh side. I'm switching back over. I said it the other day when I hit the or last night when I hit the diamond stack here that it was the second line. We're going back to the first line for tomorrow. I'm thinking it's Gensel and Crosby for a big game tomorrow. Keep Letang in your lineup as well. 6 assists in 5 games, 14 shots, 7 blocks at 6,400. Great price tag there. If you didn't want to play Gensel and wanted to spread out your funds across different games, I think you can run Crosby Letang and leave the rest out. Yeah, defensively, yeah, maybe Dumoulin also in play at 4,000 as the cheaper option. Is there power play potential in this one? You look here, Islanders 10th in the penalty kill department. Certainly Islanders power play, it will not be in play. Pittsburgh's is on home ice. Pittsburgh's not very good on power play. Yeah, it's strictly line pairings here when you're looking at your team. Casey DeSmith, another one, depending on the way you game scripted here. I think we need to look and see how many shots that we're looking at here. to determine that. I'm not sure Casey DeSmith's going to be the best play on the slate to get you win plus shots.
I don't want a goalie here. I don't want Grice or DeSmith. This game has potential to blow up and go way over that 6.5. Pittsburgh over the last 10 games has given up 3.6 goals per game. The Islanders are giving up 3.2 goals per game. Pittsburgh's offense is starting to heat up. The Islanders is already scoring goals. So I'm not opposed to a full game stack here and just riding it out. I don't think you need to do that. I'm not certain I'm going to do that. I wouldn't be opposed to it, though. But I definitely got interest in Anders Lee as one-off at $5,900. It's a nice price tag. But I also like Barzal and Bailey off the second line together. Won't mind that at all. Wouldn't go to the third or fourth line. It's a large slate. I don't think you need to do that to begin with. Defensively, Johnny Boychuk would be a nice play. Ryan Pulock would be an okay play at 4,100. But Thomas Hickey at 2,600, getting almost 20 minutes ice time. It's kind of hard for him not to make value at that. So Thomas Hickey, I think, could be in play also, especially in a cash game that cheap. I wouldn't mind doing that. But I think my real three interests would be Lee, Barzal, and Bailey. Pittsburgh side of it, I as a fan, I hope they got it together. And I don't know. Do I think they do? No, I don't quite think that they're all the way back, but I sure hope so. Crosby at 7,100 is still great value. Jake Gensel's price tag is starting to climb on Gensel at 6,100. Hornquist, it's up. Look at that Hattie. The only thing he did all week, but he's 6,700. I'm going to avoid that. So he'll probably score another hat trick. Malkin, I like him. Tanner Pearson, I really am quite impressed with what he's doing here. And as far as how he's skating with the team, the way he's starting to gel, I like it. I don't think he's there yet, but it's coming along. So I like the pairing, really. I like Crosby Gensel. I like to get Malkin and Pearson just for the price savings and avoid Hornquist. Kessel, I don't know what is going on. Derek Brassard scored the other night. I just don't think you need these bottom two lines. I think for me, it's them four guys: Gensel, Crosby, Tanner Pearson, and Malkin. I like Letang at 6,400. He's always involved in the offensive end of it. That's why Pittsburgh gives up goals, because he can't play defense. Brian Dumoulin at 4K is a great price. Oli Mata had a beautiful assist the other night in the first period against Colorado. So Oli Mata at 3,600, if you need some savings, isn't a bad play either. And like I said, I don't want no DeSmith. That's all I got there, really. Next game up on the slate, we got Detroit heading into Toronto to take on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Over-under of 6 in this game, and Toronto is a massive 295 home favorite. Looks like we'll have Jimmy Howard and Freddie Anderson. What do you like in the Detroit-Toronto game?
Well, I think you look at this one here, and it's hard to say that Toronto's not going to win this one. Looking at this, you see the production still been there steadily. Mitch Marner, 11 assists in 5 games, 4 points there for Hyman at 4,300 on that first line. I think you could go with any which pairing of these top 2 lines, the top 6. Marlowe and Matthews certainly providing great value as well. Not sure if the power play is going to get a goal or not tomorrow. Usually Detroit's a more disciplined team, and you got Toronto that doesn't particularly draw a ton of penalties, at least on home ice. If you did predict a power play, I think you'd be crazy not to kind of look at that Matthews-Tavares pairing or Matthews-Marner pairing and just leave it at two people on that first power play. It's such a pricey move on a 10-game slate to stack it three ways, I would think. But that's just how I play. I play a little bit more conservative of a game style when it comes to having three high price stack guys like this. I mean, 7,400 for Tavares, 8,300 for Matthews. If you wanted Marner at 7,100, I mean, you pretty much spent, over a third, easily over a third, probably around 40-some% of your salary on just these three guys. And so you really do lose funds for anything else. Fourth line here, I think you do got to play on this fourth line sneaky pick, Andreas Johnson, as well, or Tyler Ennis. You look here, and ironically enough, when you look at Detroit, they've given up 6 goals to fourth liners since I've kept track, 10 to first liners. Like I said, I haven't found a good site where, aside from opening websites that's particularly slow, at least I got one app that opens up stats quickly for me to at least see who scored it. I can't tell whether they're power play, shorthand, or anything like that. So that's the downside of it. But you know what? I'm consistent with tracking that, and I'm happy that I'm tracking it that way. So Johnson or Ennis on the fourth line could be a sneaky GPP play, but it's the top 6 mainly. Certainly Hyman and Marleau also in play with 4 points. I think Kapanen gets the axe out of those top 6. Nylander also, I think you got to take a look at Nylander, even if you wanted to one-off him. 5,200 already, 3 points in the first game. So he's an interesting play. And from Detroit's side, I'm going to say you leave them off your lineup for tomorrow. But if you did want to play, I think you strictly look at this first line. I think you look at Gustav Nyquist and Dylan Larkin, and that's where you keep it at. Just that pair. I'm not interested in anyone else except for those two from a forward perspective. Mike Green on the defensive side, Cholowski on the defensive side. I think you got plays there. No goalies here for me. Obviously, I think they got Anderson at 8,500 in for the win. That's such a high price. He will face a lot of shots. So if you can find a stack that is, first line minutes for, let's say, 5,200, 5,000 stuff that you can get the 8,500, I think he stands a good chance to get a shutout against Detroit tomorrow and face a lot of shots. And no defense for me on the Toronto side.
I'm not playing any Detroit. No way, man. You guys want to play him? Go ahead. I just can't play no Detroit against Toronto. It's all Toronto here for me. The only thing that causes any kind of pause whatsoever playing Toronto is the pricing. But I think you get around that with going with pairs. And it'll work. But not all the pricing is that horrible that you can't make it work regardless. You are going to pay up. But why not? I mean, Tavares with Marner is still a fine play. Matthews with Marleau. Matthews with Kapanen would be fine. Matthews with even the whole second line. Marleau, Matthews, and Kapanen is an okay price. You can fit that in regardless. I don't mind, Nylander at 5,200. Kadri shooting a lot at 4K. Defensively, Riley's expensive, but man, it's hard not to have interest in him, even at that price. I do like Zaitsev, 2,600 with 12 blocks. You You guys know I'm always into that for a cash game play. I like those cheap defensemen that can pretty much walk into points or walk into value. I do like the Andreas Johnson call. Didn't really look at him. I have to dig into him a little more there, but at 3,200, it's pretty fair price. So like I said, for this game, it's all Toronto. They are a minus 295 home favorite. It's an over under of 6 here. So this game could easily, you could easily look at it, breaking even, and being a 5-1 victory for Toronto here. And with that being said, I draw interest in Freddie Anderson too. I just don't know if he's going to see enough shots on the net to win a GPP. So, yeah, for me, all Toronto. I don't think you need Detroit at all. Next game up on the slate, Colorado Avalanche heading into Florida to take on the Florida Panthers, coming off a great win. The Panthers are over under 6 in this game, minus 120 home favorite for Florida, which pretty much a pick 'em here. Varlamov facing off against Luongo. What do you like in this game? Could see some offense, or could see some great goalie action.
For me, I have to just go with the way it's been, and that's great offense here. For me, I kind of like Florida a little bit more. Maybe I'm going to get greedy and stack them heavy, and they're going to do one of their 2-goal performances, and they'll be by, third liners that I don't play or something. Maybe Troy Brouwer back on the goal side here, but I have to say I'm gonna run Hoffman. I'm gonna run Huberdeau. I'm gonna run Dadonov. Certainly interest here. You go down to the power play. They draw a ton of power play chances here, so you're gonna get shots here. A road team of, like we said, Colorado, the most penalized team on the road here. So certainly this power play that has been proven to score and score often at will. This could be a potential 5-person stack here on there, but you at least want 3 of these guys and a fair price. If you want to run Dadonov, Barkov, Huberdeau, that's perfectly fine. I prefer running Dadonov, Huberdeau, and Hoffman. But Keith Yandel, defense, if you wanted to run the 2 forwards and Keith Yandel, you could do that. And then in that case, I'm telling you to run Dadonov, Hoffman, and Yandel. You want to get who's scoring the most shots you want involved there. So 21 shots in the past 5 for Dadonov, 24 shots in the past 5 for Hoffman. Hoffman's starting to get his groove back, certainly since he lost that point streak earlier in the year. But these guys are in play and for sure. Other than that, I think you don't have to look much further than that first power play. If you can't afford Yandel at 5,900 here, I don't mind Ekblad still. Thing with Ekblad is if he doesn't get you any goal or assist to 4,200, you might end up with half a point. He just doesn't get as much shots or blocks as I would like. Yeah, for me, I'm pretty much, I think, heading with Yandel only if I did play a defenseman from the Florida side here. I can't remember if you told me once you get on your thing, the goalie situation here, if it's Reimer or Luongo. I see Luongo is no longer on the injury here. So if it is Luongo, I certainly have interest in Luongo.
He started yesterday against Boston.
He's the guy who gave it a shutout.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain.
I think they'd go right back to him then.
Sure.
Well, I like Luongo, certainly. You know what? Even looking at Florida's Reimer, he's 2.11. The 3.18 is a little scary. But I think you could take a shot on Reimer in that slate. I don't know much of how many more goals Colorado is going to get than 2 or 3 personally on the road. Let's see here, though. Let's analyze Colorado. I mean, certainly that first line still remains the hottest line in hockey, and they still have their price tag. It's Landeskog, McKinnon, Ranton. Tell you the truth, I'd rather, if I'm looking at this third line. If you stack another team, say you're stacking another game, it happens to be the Toronto line. You want to run 3 Toronto players for those high prices. You want to run Marner, you want to run Matthews, and you want to run Tavares here. So where can you go to get a little price relief? And I think it's the third line of Colorado here with Carl Soderberg and Matthew Nieto. They known to get points here. Soderberg does get, I think he's on that second power play unit. Yeah, he's on the second power play unit. Same with, I think he's the only one, actually. I saw Tyson Yost here, but he's second line. So Carl Soderberg, Matthew Nieto could be a price savings that turns out to be beneficial for you in the long run. Defensively here for Colorado, I think you can perhaps run Sam Girard again. Tyson Barrie had a goal, I think it was last night since his injury. Yeah, he did have a goal last night against the Penguins. So he's a potential play. 6,000 is a high price to pay for him, I think. I think you'd rather run Sam Girard, take a chance there if you did run defense here. And Nikita Zadorov, I think they pronounce it Zadorov, but nonetheless, in 1945, 1 goal. At 2,600, it's hard to these guys have been known to get some point production, so he's a good chance if you really need some money savings with a guy that does play. And I just can't find interest here in the Colorado goalie.
I mean, Colorado, it's hard to get away from that top line, man. Landeskog, McKinnon, and Rantanen, they're just so expensive. I mean, I guess they're worth it, but, man, they almost – oh, man. I'd really like to play them, though, here, if there is a way. It's hard to let McKinnon off, and at 8,200, it really restricts you drastically. But that's where it's at. I mean, you want the production from Colorado. It's line 1. I like Carl Soderberg centering up that the third line with Nieto. I wouldn't mind that. Nieto is 3K. Soderberg is 4,800. That wouldn't be bad. Tyson Jost, 3,300. JT Compher scored the other day against Pittsburgh. A little bit of a fluky goal. No, I don't know. My interest is all in the top line, really. I do have interest in Soderberg and Nieto, though. Defensively, Sam Girard, I do like him. Ty Berry is back. 6K, though. I still think it's – I tell you what, Ian Cole's blocking a lot of shots. About 3 a game here. 4,300, that's not too bad. Yeah, I still think it's Girard and Berry for me. Zadorov, I'm with you there. I don't mind that. Every once in a while, he's able to walk into a goal. So, Nemeth, Patrick Nemeth at 2,600 with those blocks. I'm more interested in that than I am taking a shot onto Zadorov. I think I'd rather Nemeth. I think that'd be it for me. I don't think I'd like to play, man. Nah, I don't think I want to play Varlamov. I think Florida can score here. The question is, how much can they score? I don't think they got all 5 against Halak when he started, because I think it was Halak that started for Boston and then got pulled, if I'm not mistaken. But maybe they kept him in. I'm not certain. But nonetheless, when it comes to Florida, I think for me it's pretty much the same way with the top line with Huberdeau, Alexander Barkov, and Hoffman. Barkov might be one of the most underrated or undervalued um, top line centerman in the league. This guy does everything, like everything. He's great defensively too. Um, he'll collect hits. He wins faceoffs. I mean, Barkov's is a great all around player. Hoffman's a scorer. Just plain and simple, he's a scorer. But Barkov will do just about anything. So I do like all three of those guys. Dadonov, 6K. It's a pretty good price. I wouldn't mind that. Frankfurt Toronto is not shooting as much again now. Man, it's up and down with this guy. It's Jared McCann, 2 goals, 10 shots, 2 blocks. Nah. I mean, it's there, but the ice time ain't there. 3,300, I guess you could take a shot on that. I'd have to dig into McCann a little bit more before I could suggest him to you. With any kind of conviction anyway. So I think off that second line, just be Dadonov for me. I do like Keith Yandel, 5,900. It's a fair price. Ekblad, 4,200 is a great price. Matheson, man, if you watch Florida play, sometimes this guy just looks like he's lost at times, Matheson. He's getting a ton of ice time. I know he scores, assists, whatever, but sometimes when you watch him, he just looks like he literally is lost. Not certain why. Either way, they'll figure it out. Mark Pisk, man, if you really need some savings, 2,500. There he sets, buddy. I don't mind that. 7 shots, 8 blocks over the last 5 games, so he is somewhat active. That's not a bad price. 2,500. But again, the top 4 guys: Dadonov, Barkov, Huberdeau, Hoffman. That's where my interest is really. And I do have some slight interest in Luongo and large field GPP because I don't think people will want to do that, even though he is coming off a shutout. This is still Colorado. People know that Colorado's top line is one of the best in the league. So that being said, that's where I'll fall. I'll probably end up with absolutely no goalie from that game, and I'll probably try to game stack the game, but I don't think it's possible. It's just too expensive. Wish I could, though. Next game up on the slate, we got Montreal Canadiens heading into Ottawa to take on the Ottawa Senators. Montreal is a visiting -124 favorite here. We have a 6.5 over/under. This is a home and home back-to-back, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I called the game stack last time out. Ottawa did shit. Absolutely. 2 goals, right? I think it was. Montreal scored 5. Right?
Yeah, 5-2.
Yeah, that's why. Okay. Same script, reversed for this game for me. What do you like here?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on the reverse thing. I mean, you look at Montreal's second line, they actually play more ice time than the first line that they have listed. But for me tomorrow on the Montreal side, I think I'm just going to pair. If I did play this, it'd be Gallagher Tatar. One would wonder what the line would be like on this first line if they would bump Domi up and run Domi with Gallagher and Tatar, but they're not going to do that. Second line is where the points came from yesterday. So, I mean, if you decide to play those and think the rules reversed or the script's the same, I think you go right back to them. But at the 6,500 for both of them, I'm not on board there. Another one-off play, and if I did one-off play it, I would run Arturi Leikkanen as a one-off. 4 points in 5 games, 14 shots, 3 blocks for 5,300. Not bad production for the price tag that he is. And certainly on those that are playing FanDuel at 4,300, even a better price savings for Leikkanen. I think you can still go to the well with Shea Weber, 6,500. He's real pricey on tomorrow. 5,700 on FanDuel, so he might be a better play on that one. Jeff Petrie, No, I'm not on Petrie. I think I'd rather be on Schlemko at 3,200 with 1 assist, 8 shots, and 13 blocks with 20 minutes of ice time. I think David Schlemko might be a better play for the defensive side of Montreal. And yeah, I'm not sure I have interest here in Carey Price. Might not go any goalies here. And going back here to Ottawa in the second, on like the back end, it's hard not to think you go with Duchesne and Batherson on this first line. That's been very productive. Second line, Stone and Kachuk certainly in play. You know what? Even I think Colin White might be in play for an assist or so with 4,300. He's not going to get you many shots, but he might get you like a 2.5. You wish he maybe get you that goal for 4,300, but I'm not sure you want to play him. And this third line, I'm going to say this third line is in play here tomorrow with Bodker, Tierney, and Bobby Ryan. They do, I think 2 of them get power play time. Bodker's on that first power play, and Bobby Ryan's on that second power play. So third line also in play and might be a great prep play. Another one if you're looking for cost savings. I think you just stick with wingers on it. Bodker and Ryan, leave out Tierney, but Tierney's not a total write-off. He has that capability to score, and it is, it's probably a hungry team looking for a win after that loss the other night. Defensively here, DeMello had the goal the other night, 13 shots, 7 blocks at 3,900. Dylan DeMello is in play. Thomas Chabot, 6,700. I think you're going to want to save that money for forwards. I'm not playing him. For me, I'd rather play DeMello. You know what? I might even play Cody Ceci as well at 4,500. Also a solid play. Anderson, I'm just not looking forward to Anderson again tomorrow, especially at a 78. I might take a look at Anderson if he was at 7,200, but 78 I think's ridiculous on DraftKings, and 7,900 on FanDuel is even worse.
No goalies for me here. I think we go back to the game stack. Favoring Ottawa. I like Tatar and Gallagher, but really for me it's Drouin, Domi, and Shaw. That's where most of my interest lies. You can run one off Arturi Lehkonen if you'd like. Off that third line, that's not a bad play either. Defensively, Shea Weber at oh my gosh, 6,500. Oh, that's crushing. I don't care. Shea Weber's still in play, man. That guy's he's awesome. Jeff Petrie, 4,900. Last time we were here, I said Jeff Petrie's not a good play. He scored. His price is dropping. I'm going to wait till his price bottoms out before I play Petrie. Schlemko, 3,200 with 13 blocks. That's not too bad. So yeah, let's say it like this. Defensively, I like Schlemko and Weber. As far as the forwards go, I like Drouin, Domi with Shaw. I like Arturi Lehkonen a little bit, and I like Tatar and Gallagher, Montreal side. We should see goals here. Like I said, we know that Ottawa games normally go 7 goals or more. You know what I mean? Sometimes as high as 8 goals or more. And it's not a recent trend, man. This is it's an ongoing thing with Ottawa, man. Their games score a lot of goals. They give up a ton of goals, but they can score too. So, Dzingel, Duchesne, Mr. Drake Batherson. I got no stats for him on daily faceoff. So I think he'd still be fine as far as that goes. Duchesne's not a bad price at 6,300. Dzingel's not a bad price really either, 5,700. I'd like to see him scoring more goals there though. But I always end up on the same play, man. I like the second line from Ottawa. I like Brady Tkachuk. I like Colin White. I like Mark Stone. Um, Even as far down as the third line, you don't necessarily need to go there. But if you do want to get way, way, way different with this team and save some money, you could pair Bodker and Bobby Ryan together, and that would be okay. Wow, Thomas Chabot's price is way up there again, 6,700. Oh man, he's worth it though. Dylan DeMello, 3,900 is a good play. Look at that. Cody Ceci does a little bit of everything at 4,500. Not saying you need to go there, but 4,500. That's not a bad play. Yeah, so it's Chabot, DeMello, and maybe a little bit of Cody Ceci defensively. Like I said, no goalies here. I'm looking to game stack this one, and I think you can fit the game stack in. I think it'll fit rather nicely. Next game up on the slate, we got Boston Bruins heading into Tampa to take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. We got over under of 6 in this game, and we have Tampa Bay a minus 163 home favorite. Should be Tuukka Rask and Louis Domingue. What do you like here, Jared?
Well, I think it's easy to talk about the Boston side here first. There are a couple cheap plays for Boston side that might work out, especially when you're looking for price savings. I look at David Back. David Back is on this third line at 2,800. He's got 3 points in the last 5, 12 shots, 3 blocks, getting power play time on that first power play line that he's centering up. 2,800 sneaky pick, right? Going to the defensive side here, I like running. Torrey Krug is worth the 5,000 price tag on DraftKings. 5 assists in the last 5 games, 13 shots, 8 blocks, 3 power play points. I think he's in play, along with John Moore on the right side of his defense, 3,300, and he's got a goal and an assist and 15 shots and 15 blocks, also getting power play time. Those are my 3 only picks that I want a part of for Boston. Tuukka Rask could be a potential play in a GPP field. He's 2-1 in his last 5 with a 1.96 GAA and a .932 save percentage. Now, you want to dig into more on this. Is a first look. I don't know who he's played in those last 5. I'm sure it's probably not someone to the effect of Tampa Bay. But, hey, I mean, like we talk about, to win these GPPs, you kind of somehow have to be out of nowhere. You're right. You're like one of the only ones that play the guy and you hit for it. He's at least with stats like that in the past 5, he's GPP play. He certainly has his fair shutouts in his NHL career. So you look, it's hard not to. Let's first go. Yeah, this Boston line, it's back to the second line, guys. It's Braden Point at 6,400. And actually, I'm surprised Braden Point's not a little bit more. I guess it's because he's a center. Centers tend to be a little bit cheaper. But Braden Point, Tyler Johnson, Nikita Kucherov, all in play. Home ice, Tampa Bay, 13 in the power play, 3.8. Let's look at Boston on the road. They don't score a lot, we know, and they're terrible on the penalty kill. And they even take about 3.5 power play or shorthanded attempts per game here. I think that means you want your second liners to also be on the power play. So it is Kucherov. It is Braden Point. The odd man out you could put out is Tyler Johnson, but he does get second power play time. Those are where I'm going. You could take a shot at Victor Hedman, 5,200. Not a bad price for 4 assists, 14 shots, 3 blocks, and certainly 3 power play points. He's active on the power play. I don't mind that at all. You anywhere else here defensively? I don't think you need to look elsewhere at that price. He's a decent play. Sergachev at 4,500, certainly been active on the offensive side as well. And we said it, guys. I mean, Boston just does not score that many goals on the road. That being said, Domingue, he's in play. He's 8,200. He is a potential play. I'm not going to play him, but you certainly have to make a case to play him.
Oh, sorry about that. Caught me in the middle of texting in the chat. Listen, Boston side here. No Rask for me at all. You want to play Boston? Play Marchand. Play David Pasternak. DeBrusk, Krejci, Donato. All fine plays. David Backes, I guess, would be okay. I don't think that you want to play Boston, but you can. Torrey Krug defensively would be okay. Greltzik would be okay. John Moore, 3,300 would be okay. I'm not playing any Boston. I just figured they're a good enough team. They could potentially beat Tampa Bay here. I just don't like Boston on the road, and I don't like Boston without Patrice Bergeron. I think he's the heart and soul of the team, and I think they need him. And even if he was back here, it would still be the way it is right now for me. I am I love Tampa Bay. If you guys watched the earlier videos, I believe it was our first opening night video we did. I threw out the call here, man. Tampa Bay is my team to pick. It's the team I picked to win it all this year. And it's still like I'm with you, Jared. How do you get off Tyler Johnson, Braden Point, Nikita Kucherov? I don't think you can. Alex Killorn deserves some attention also, as does Matthew Joseph. This young kid is a fourth rounder. I didn't know that. But Matthew Joseph is a fourth rounder. I just found that out today. Man, he's pretty impressive for being a fourth rounder. Him and Braden Point are just coming together so perfectly at such the right time. And Braden Point's only getting paid like $650,000 or some shit like that this year. It's insane. Victor Hedman defensively, great play. I don't think you need Girardi. Mikhail Sergachev, I like him at 4,500 a little bit. Really, it's just Hedman for me. And I do have interest in the goalie Domingue too. So line 2 for me, guys. Maybe a little Alex Killorn, Matthew Joseph, Victor Hedman, and I like the goalie Domingue. Next game up on the slate. As I turn the page, Minnesota Wild heading into Calgary to take on the Calgary Flames. Calgary is a minus 140 home favorite. We have an over-under of 6 in this game. Should be Dubnyk. And I seen Riddick listed, but Riddick's last time out, he got pulled. Smith had to come in and ended up winning that game. So I'm not sure which way they're going to go here. It'll be Riddick or Smith, obviously, but it should be Dubnyk from Minnesota. What do you like here?
Dubnyk's been horrible the last 5. Looks like he had that good win. I guess the last good win he had was the last game out. I think they played like Vancouver or something, or Arizona maybe. But this Calgary team is just point producers. I mean, Elias Lindholm, even if you wanted a one off him, it's 6,000 on DraftKings. I mean, he's got 2 goals, 5 assists, 22 shots, and 4 power play points at 6,000. That's great. That's beyond great. Want to check real quick. Minnesota is on the road, right? Am I right in that? Yeah, Minnesota on the road here. They're 7-6. Yeah, they're only scoring 2.8 goals on the road. They do have the 6th best power play. You look at Calgary on the Calgary at home, 4.3 goals, but they do give up 3.5, which is the second highest in the league when it all comes down to it. Fourth in power play and dead last in penalty kill. So there are some plays the way you want to look at it. Let's analyze. I guess we'll go to Minnesota here first. If you're thinking power play, I think you go down and you find Eric Stahl's starting to play really well. Zach Parise, 4 goals and 2 of those on the power play at 6,100, 15 shots. I think he's in play. Like I said, Eric Stahl, 2 goals, 2 assists, 19 shots at 5,800. He's also in play. And Jason Zucker, 3 goals, 11 shots. There's your other play. Granlund, 6 points in 5 games. You could go there. I don't think I am. Suter, 5,500 is a defensive play. When I look here, this Calgary team is then, let me see here, make sure I'm telling you right. Yeah, the first and second line definitely give Calgary trouble. They're a little bit better in depth defense here, but I mean, I think you stick with Parise, and I think you could make a case for running a Zucker and Stahl combo. I'm just some reason, Granlund's not really popping out at me as a guy I want to play at 6,000. I mean, he's getting a lot of assists, but I think I want my forward to be a little bit more on the goal side, which is why I'm leaning towards Zucker and Parise a little bit more than Granlund, who's getting assists. And certainly, as I said, you look, Ryan Suter is certainly a play. And I think you can even make a case for Matt Dumba on that second right defenseman at 5,400, also with power play time. Calgary side, I think you can easily make a case for the pairings of the first or the second, the top 6 for sure. Leave out Bennett, and it's almost like who did we see exactly like that? It's almost like, it's not Tampa. It must be like the Toronto where, you say the top 6 are in there, except that second line right winger, just not in there. And I can't remember what team it was that we said that, but I know I said the same combination. So I'm really leaning towards this first one. You guys got to run to the well when the well's full of water, right? And this Gaudreau, Monahan, Lindholm is starting to get up there in the price of the first line in Colorado. And what do we do with the first line of Colorado? We play them. We have never let price dictate whether we're going to not play McKinnon, Rantanen, and Landeskog. And I think this line deserves the same respect. I'm going to Calgary. I'm running Gaudreau. I'm running Monahan, and I'm running Lindholm until they let me down. There's the line I'm going with, and I don't think you need to look any further. I will give my boy Jankowski a little respect if you wanted to one off him on that 4th line, because Minnesota has given up 7 goals to like 4th line guys. And Jankowski somehow still gets points. I mean, look at that, 4 points in 5 games there. And once again, 2 goals on 5 shots, 40% shooting percentage is pretty good stuff. Giordano, Brody, still great plays. Hannafin, still a great play. I don't know if I'm going defense in this one just because I'm going to pretty much break the bank with my Calgary first line pick. So I like Calgary in this game a lot. And if it is Mike Smith tomorrow, high interest in Mike Smith, guys. High interest. And you look at his last 5 games, and that tells you why. This is not the Mike Smith that started out the year, guys. He's proven himself. He got sick of the Rittich shit and the Rittich talk. He said, I'm going to produce for you, and he has. I'm not going to be the James Neal on this team. I'm going to go out there, and I'm going to save some shots, and he did it. So Mike Smith didn't play at 8,100.
Yeah, I don't want no Minnesota. Whatever, I'll give them a little bit of respect here to talk about them. If you want Minnesota, Zucker, Stahl, Granlund off the top line. Zach Parisi's a good play. That'd be my 4 forwards right there: Zuckerstall, Granlund, Parisi. Nobody else forward-wise. Suter, 5,500. Yeah, he's in play. Ryan Suter, certainly. Bergeron, Jared Bergeron at 4,600 is in play. Even Matt Dumba at 50. Yeah. Now, I prefer Suter over Dumba. Ooh, that sounds really ugly saying that, too. I got to say it, though. Prefer Suter over Dumba. I like Bergeron the best at 4,600. I'm not going to play Minnesota, though. I don't want no Dubnyk. Guys, just a quick thing to run it out here, right? Don't sleep on Calgary, right? Like, don't sleep on. Just stop sleeping on Calgary, man. These cats can score. They've got 44 goals over the past 10 games, and if I'm not mistaken, that's like second on the slate behind Tampa Bay, who has 45 goals. So yes, it is actually. So Calgary, over the past 10 games, or averaging 4.4 goals. Come on, man, that's a no brainer, right? So I like Gaudreau, Johnny Gaudreau, Sean Monahan, Elias Lindholm, Matt Kachuk, Mikael Backlund. Absolutely no Sam Bennett. That's it. Top 5. Backlund, Kachuk, Gaudreau, Monahan, Lindholm. Defensively, Giordano, 6,100 is a good play, but I prefer TJ Brody at 3,500. Noah Hannafin at 3,600. So yeah, it'd be Brody and Hannafin for me. And Jared, I'm also with you. Like I said, I'm not sure if it's going to be Riddick or Smith. I got interest in Smith, none in Riddick. Period. And I mean, that's it, flat out. Next game up on the slate, the Washington Capitals heading into Arizona to take on the Arizona Coyotes. Washington is a minus 107 visiting favorite, 6.5 over under here. So it's pretty much a pick 'em game, and should be Braden Holtby against Hill. And keep in the back of your head, Arizona is on a 4-game winning streak. What do you like here?
I mean, certainly the first line of Washington's where their goals have been. Vrana with 2 goals, I think, the other night on that second line. But I'm going to be honest here. This game's a little bit scary for me. I might just stick with goalies here. I think that both teams are going to get shots. I think both teams will be north of 30. And this here game, I really can't. I can't put my finger around it. Could it be 3-1 in Arizona? Sure, but I can also see it being 5-1 with Washington coming out angry after that loss last night to Vegas here. If I wanted interest here in Arizona, I think you got to go with maybe Clayton Keller on that first line. Schmaltz. I mean, for 4,900 and 4,500 for first liners, that's certainly doable. And it's great value when you look at the rest of the league. Washington's known to have trouble in defensemen here too. So, who can score for the Arizona here? Maybe you do go to Ekman Larson here. He's been a little bit slow, and certainly we probably would have thought he would have been more than 4,400 at this point in the season, but he's not. And I think he might be in play tomorrow against this Washington team. But I'm not going to beat around the bush, guys. If this game goes off big, most people beat me in lineups tomorrow because I'm just not on
it. This game makes me a little bit nervous, right? So Washington has lost the last 2 games. They gave up that big come behind victory to Anaheim. Then they went into Vegas and literally got beat up. Tom Wilson, we don't know, right? He still should be in. Maybe he will be cleared, but he was in concussion protocol, right?
Yeah,
So what's that? A week mandatory?
I don't think it is. I mean, that's why the Hornquist stats were, like you said, 3 goals and 1 assist, because he had missed like prior 4 games or something because of the concussion.
Okay. Well, regardless. I like Ovechkin. I like Backstrom. If Wilson's in, I like Wilson too. Kuznetsov, got interest there. Jakub Vrana, Brett Conley. They'd be fine plays. So top 6, right? Defensively, Kempney, 4,500. John Carr. Oh, wow, man. 6,800. He's in play. Got 7 assists over the last 5 games. So I do have interest in Kempney. I prefer to go there. He's cheaper, way cheaper. I don't want no Dmitry Orlov. He'll draw 2 penalties in a row. No Niskanen. Yeah, so it's just Carlson and Kempney for me defensively. I got an interest in Holtby. Maybe I'm wrong there. But it don't matter. I still get interest in him. I think he'll see 30 shots, maybe 35 shots. Give up 1 or 2. Won't be much. I think if you want to play any Arizona, Schmaltz and Keller, Galchenyuk is a little bit down lately. Are these guys winning games? Ugly. Oh. I can't really. Yeah. I think it's man. I think that's it for me. Schmaltz and Keller. I can't even really recommend anybody else. Maybe a little Derek Steppen. Maybe a little Oliver Ekman Larson. Connaughton's block and shots, 3,100. That's it. Arizona does not look very good DFS wise on paper at all. I think Washington wins this game. And I think the game stays under. So I could see Washington 4-1 here. So yeah, I do got interest in Holtby. I think Ovechkin will score tomorrow too. He'll score a goal from the office. Next game up on the slate, Nashville Predators heading into Vancouver to take on the Vancouver Canucks. Nashville visiting minus 175 favorite. 5.5 over under here. Should be Pekka Rinne and Markstrom. What do you like here?
To be honest here, I like Nashville to come back out. And yeah, they're dealing with a lot of injuries here, but they still are 8-3-1 on the road. Their power play is certainly not the greatest, 29th in the league here, but I don't think you need to go there for me. To tell you the truth, I like just taking Kevin Fiala on the first line, Craig Smith on the second line, and actually I do have interest in Eli Tolvanen on that left wing side as well. You look at him, he must have just been popped in there because he only shows 5.36 time on ice. But look at it. I mean, he's got a goal and 2 shots, 1 assist. I think they're just bringing him in, like I said, due to some injuries. So Tolvanen option as well. Austin Watson sneaky at 3,900. He's got 4 points in 5 games and 10 shots, 10 blocks. Take a look there. For some reason, they definitely moved Bonino down to the 4th line. So interesting. Roman Yossi's still 4 assists, but he's got 25 shots and 10 blocks, 6,300. Yeah, it's hard to say he's not in play. It's a heavy price to pay, but that's production. Pecorine is 8,400. I don't know if he'll see enough shots to validate that price tag. And you go over to the Vancouver side. I don't know. I mean, you look, there's not too much great production here. I mean, 5,700 for Besser, I think is just too overpriced. If he was around that Schmaltz price tag that we've seen in Arizona of Schmaltz color, I think that would have been better. But 5,700, I just don't like that price tag. I'll tell you what, I have a hard time. I mean, yeah, you will not see, unless I think that Vancouver pulls out some weird win of a 2-1 type thing, Jacob Markstrom will be the only Vancouver person on my line.
I know Nashville's a big favorite here. So I like Pecorine. It is a 5.5 over under, and we know that Nashville is hurt, banged up a little bit here. They've only scored 29 goals in the last 10 games. So it's not like they're putting goals up. But I do think they're going to win the game. So with that being said, I'm not going to stack Nashville at all. I think I'd use Nashville. Just use them as one-offs, maybe a pairing here or there. I got interest in Johansson, Fiala, both as one-offs. Even Hartman, 4,200 is a one-off. Craig Smith, I think Craig Smith and Kevin Fiala would be my two favorite one-offs. Craig Smith at 5K, I think that'd be a great price too. Defensively, these guys, you can come over and grab them up. Yossi at 6,300, Ryan Ellis 5,300, Ekholm 4,700. All three of those guys are good plays too. And like I said, I do like Rennie. What's his price? Rennie is 8,400. So he'll be one of the highest priced goalies on the slate. But it don't matter to me. I think if you're going to play a cash game and you can afford him, put him in. I think he's one of your safer goalie wins here on the slate. So take your 3 points, put it in your back pocket, and head home. As far as Vancouver, let me just jump over here. I want to see what they're doing. I'm not going to play Vancouver at all. I don't think at all. But what I want to see is the cat that they just picked up from Toronto in that trade. Josh Levo. They got him left winging on the second line. Oh man. I'm not saying that I'm going to do this now, right? Okay, but what we need to do here, guys, is pay attention to this Vancouver second line, right? If we see these guys starting to mesh just a little bit with Josh Levo, Elias Pettersson, and Brock Besser, I think we jump on. Because it's not like Levo was not like he's not good. I mean, I think he's been around for 7 years, I think I heard now. The problem is when you're playing, behind Mitch Marner, Nylander, Marlowe, Hyman, Level was just not ever given the opportunity to get rolling in Toronto. And I know at the beginning of the year he was told by the GM that if they couldn't get him the ice time that he needed, they would move him to somewhere where he could get ice time to prove himself, and they did that for him. So when they brought Nylander back, they had to lose somebody to bring Nylander right back to Toronto. So they traded Josh Levo for an AHL player and moved Levo over here. So let's keep an eye on him. I'm not saying he's in play tomorrow, but at 2,800, man, for a left winger, man, you need savings. I think you go there. No Markstrom for me. I would say if you want to play Markstrom, GPP it, but I don't think I'd want to play him at all anyway. I will keep Rennie in play. And, we already talked about it. Well, we didn't talk about it, but and I'm thinking about it in my head. I got too many goalies. I'm going to have to get rid of some goalies here. But we'll get through it. Next game up, Chicago Blackhawks heading into Vegas to take on the Las Vegas Golden Knights. The Golden Knights are a minus 200 home favorite. We have an over-under of 6 in this game, and it looks like we're going to have the one, the only Cam Ward in the net for the Chicago Blackhawks. They have Crawford listed, but Crawford started tonight. Can't see him running on a back-to-back. And it should be Marc-Andre Fleury, the flower child. This is going to be one of your chalkiest teams going here, but in all rights it should be, because I see Vegas absolutely dominating Chicago tomorrow. What do you like here?
Well, they are in Vegas. Who gives up? Let's just get to the stat real quick, because I'm going to be quick on there. The Chicago side here, but the Vegas Golden Knights give up 1.8 goals at home. Raiders fan pointed that out the other night, and I've kept track of it as well. So no Chicago at all for me, none. I ain't even opening their daily face-off page, and that's just specifically for fantasy reasons in the DFS contest. Nothing against Chicago. Certainly, many people have idolized what they were able to do in their prime, winning multiple cups. But for me, it's this top 6 here. I look, and I like Carlson, I like Smith, I like Eakin, and I like Tuck. The whole lineup, this is the one where I could probably put all 4 in, and I could enjoy that. Joe's favorite player on hockey, he was involved in the action last night with Tom Wilson, Ryan Reeves. I'm pretty sure. I heard on the radio, but I don't know if they got that information from the NHL. But I did hear they were not doing any further disciplinary action on Reeves. I didn't even think it was like it was a blindside hit, but his target certainly was in the head, if you asked me. I'm watching the hit. But Ryan Reeves, back on the scoring, man. 4 points in 5 games at 2,600. Sneaky play. Nate Schmidt, 4,100, 2 goals last night. I think he's going to keep on rolling. Schmidt in play again. Shea Theodore, 5 points in 5 games, 5,100. Possible play again. Derek England, 3,600, 4 assists, 10 shots, 10 blocks. He's in play again. I mean, just really take your time, open this script up, and I think you could find a lot of Vegas players that are going to be in action. It's the late game, Joe. I don't know how chalky this is. You know what people feel about the late game. They can't turn on the TV and root for their team as much. So maybe people will chalk Toronto, and we'll reap in the benefits when Vegas wins 6-2.
Maybe you're right, man. I just think that, Vegas coming off a big win against, defending Stanley Cup champs, yada, yada, yada. You know what I mean? People are recency bias, man. Maybe they won't go to one of these late games, but I don't know. Maybe I'll pay attention. Watch a couple other shows tomorrow from some other people that they put out on hockey. If they end up recommending a lot of Vegas, and I hear a lot of recommending of Vegas going on, I think I'll avoid Vegas. But if I don't hear a lot of Vegas talk, I'm going to have to go there. Just because Chicago's in a bad way right now. I don't want to play any Chicago at all. I'm just going to say that flat out. To me, they fall in line with Philly, a couple of the other teams here. I just don't think you need to go to Chicago DFS-wise. Chicago's only scored 26 goals over the last 10. They've given up 36. You got Vegas scoring 38 over the last 10, and they're only giving up 27. So be it home or away, it wouldn't matter. The game script is the same way out. Cam Ward is not in play. Marc-Andre Fleury, I'm going to keep him listed in play, and I'm going to head right into Vegas and skip. I'm just going to completely skip out on Chicago. If you guys end up going there, good luck to you. I hope it works out. I just can't do it. For me, Marshall Salt hasn't scored, but he's still shooting. 5,600. The whole top line is under 6K. You could fit them in on a stack. Alex Tuck, 6,300. Looks like he's going to be your most expensive forward. Cody Eakin at 4,900. I think he's a great play. So I like a lot of Tuck and Cody Eakin there. Ryan Reeves is playing more. He's scoring. Whatever at 2,600. It can't hurt you. Like a little bit of Nate Schmidt defensively at 4,100. Shea Theodore, of course, at 5,100. Look at Derek England, man. 10 shots, 10 blocks, 4 assists over the last 5 games. Yeah, 3,600. Derek England is in play. Colin Miller, he probably gets. Does he get power play time, Miller? Yes, he does. He's up on the first power play unit. And Carlson is not on the first power play unit. He's on the second power play. So I wouldn't mind that as a stack right there, guys. How about, look at this. Marshall Salt, Oscar Lindbergh, Alex Tuck, and Riley Smith. That'll give you 2 and 2. 2 off the first, 2 off the second, and 4 off the power play unit. That's a good stack right there. I'm going to look into that a little more. Certainly going to look in that a little more. And like I said, Miller defensively is okay. Derek England, Nate Schmidt. And I do like Andre Fleury. Let's head into it. Last game on the slate, we got the New Jersey Devils heading into Los Angeles to take on the Los Angeles Kings. The Los Angeles Kings are a -116 home favorite, 5.5 over/under in this game. Really a pick'em game. Should be Kincaid against Quick is what I've seen on Daily Faceoff. Keep in the back of your mind, guys, when you're building your stacks here. Not that it ever really much matters, but New Jersey did take that 3,200-mile trek across the entire country from East Coast to West Coast. So that being said, Jared, you got any interest at all in this very last game on the slate?
Well, it don't mean nothing whether they're trekking across 3,200 miles or trekking across their little roadway to Philadelphia to play. I mean, this team is just bad on the road. I mean, between them and Ottawa, both of them, 5 and 7 points, 13 games, and the Devils are 2-10-1. I mean, that stat alone makes me almost never want to stack the Devils on the road. I mean, they average 2.4 goals away. If you are looking at the Devils line, I think you just kind of maybe do a one-off of maybe Taylor Hall. But keep in mind, guys, since I've started tracking it, maybe Joe can get us the last 10 on goals. I don't know if he tracks goals for and goals against, but since I've been tracking, which should be about 6 or 7 games ago, the Kings have given up 19 goals. That's it. That's what I have. I mean, this is all manual entry, so ±1. I think I'm pretty accurate at it, but don't stack this team, guys. Seriously. I just don't think it'll bode well for you. So maybe you want to take a shot at Palmieri or something, but I really have zero interest in taking on a New Jersey team. I'm going over here to Los Angeles. In Los Angeles, I don't mind taking a shot at Kopitar or Brown on this first line. Jeff Carter on the second line at 3,900, dirt cheap, but he's shooting the puck a lot. I think he's in play here as well. I think, to be honest, I mean, on the road, yeah, New Jersey giving up 4.3 goals on the road. The Kings stats, you really have to almost break it out over the past 5 games because their yearly stats look terrible because of the beginning of the year. They just couldn't score. So their stats are real skewed. But over the past few games here, I've been noticing the Kings are scoring more here. So I do have an interest in a pair, whether it be Dustin Brown and Kopitar, whether it be Dustin Brown with Jeff Carter here just to like save on some money. But I think the Kings are a good stack, at least if you hop in a late night game in a late slate, the Kings are going to be your team. Alec Martinez defensively at 4,100. I like where he's at. Look at this, guys. 17 blocks in 5 games. That's just crazy, incredible. Derek Forbert, 12 shots and 10 blocks in the last 5 at 2,700 also play. Drew Doughty, if you predict a power play point, maybe, but 4,700, I'd rather go to Martinez. And yeah, you know what? I'm riding quick at 7,500. That might have sealed my deal on a team I think is going to win and get some shots. And at 7,500, he's certainly better than a Pekka Rinne 8,400.
Man, I don't like this game at all. I certainly don't like any New Jersey. If you want New Jersey, just a quick talk about them. Hall, Hushier, Palmieri. Looks like they got them all 3 paired back up on the top line. That's it for me. I mean, that's the only place I go. Maybe a shot on Blake Coleman off the left wing third line, 5,200, 18 shots over the past 5 games. That draws some interest too. Defensively, wow. Nothing. I can't play anything defensively for these guys. I don't want no Kincaid. Well, actually, I can't say that. Kincaid is probably in play, to be honest with you. I just probably won't play him. Maybe like cash game play anyway. I don't think he'll see quite enough shots, but maybe. Just hard to script this game out, man. To be honest, I'm looking at more towards a 2-1 game, maybe a 3-1 game, with the empty netter late in the end, at the end from LA to pull out the win. That would be it for me. Kopitar Brown, I like that. I like a little bit of Jeff Carter. You can pair him up with Toffoli. Toffoli's shooting a puck at 3,300. He's got 14 shots. He's just not scoring. So variance, that'll turn around eventually. You know what I mean? It's just inevitable. You keep shooting a puck at a net, eventually it's going to go in. So let's just keep shooting, man. So Kopitar, Brown, Carter, Toffoli. I'm not going to venture anywhere else other than those 4. I like Drew Doughty. Always like Drew Doughty. Man, look at Derek Forbert. Wow. What a beautiful price. 2,700 for 12 shots and 10 blocks over the last 5 games. 2,700. He'll walk into that value. Alec Martinez, Jared, I'm all about it, man. He saved me along with Quick the other night when Quick posted his shutout. Amazing. He scored a goal. Quick with a shutout. That's all I needed. But yeah, Martinez, it's still at 4,100. You know what I mean? You just look at his numbers. He's got better numbers on paper, Alec Martinez does, than Drew Doughty. But Drew Doughty's is still $600 more. So why? You know what I mean? Common sense. The old KISS method. I know people say this day in and day out in the DFS world. I'm sure you've heard it from many other DFS videos and presenters you've watched. Be it big or small, like us, we're extremely small, but the KISS method, right? Keep it simple, stupid. Here it is. Keep it simple, stupid. 4,700 for Drew Doughty with 1 assist, 8 shots, 7 blocks, and 1 power play point. Or Alec Martinez with 2 goals, 1 assist, 8 shots, and 17 blocks, all in the same time frame of games. Keep it simple, stupid. Alec Martinez, save the money, spend it elsewhere, grab yourself some more points somewhere else. And Jonathan Quick, I think if it is Quick again, we got to consider him here yet again. Am I going to play him? I don't know. But over the last 10 games, Los Angeles has only given up 2.8 goals per game. Not all of those games had Quick involved in it. Some of those had Cal Peterson in the net. Probably one had Budai in the net. that too. So, yeah, a little bit of goalies here, a little bit of Los Angeles here, and that'd be it for me. And with that being said, guys, that's the slate, man. So you want to play a game and then we can get out of here?
Yes, sir. And you can lead the way on this. That way, if I take your picks, I'll have to switch.
What do you want me to do? Go
You
first.
go ahead and go first. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Simple. Diamond stack. Line 2, Calgary. Line 2 is Kachuk, Backlund, Bennett.
All right. Let me open my guys here, but strictly for the nice guys because they got the power play unit. I'm taking the second line of Florida tomorrow against Colorado. Evgeny Dadonov, Jared McCann, Frank Vetrano. Second line Florida.
Second line Florida. My snowflake stack. Give me line 1 from Boston. Should be Marchand, Pasternak, and Kobe Cave. Line 1 Boston.
For my snowflake, at first thought I was going to go New Jersey line 1, but I'm switching it up last minute here, and I'm going Detroit line 1. And I think that's going to be more beneficial to the audience because I think more people might be think to play them. But Detroit line 1 for me tomorrow.
That's a good play, certainly. Boulder Award. Give me Freddie Anderson. Shutting out Detroit.
That goes well with my little snowflake.
Sure.
My Boulder Award, and folks, I hope it hits because the homer in me will be happy. Casey DeSmith against the Islanders team that has struggled as of late.
Good. And Cole, I didn't mean to be misleading at all. With the shoot the puck thing is, I meant it more as just a basic literal sense, not as a misleading stat, meaning, basically you can't score if you're not shooting. That's all I meant by that. Because I don't necessarily look at shots on goal at all as a stat, really, for the most part. Maybe as maybe if I have two guys like super close, I'm real close on, can't figure out which way, maybe I use shots on goal like that. But for me, my heaviest stack that I pay attention to is flat out goals, man. You know what I mean? Goals give you the points, man. So that is pretty much where I start, is goals, and then I move out from there. And to be honest with you, I don't even start my research with players. I start my research with teams and team goals. And most of the time, I'm very recent with most of my research. 10 games and under. I don't like to look at season-long stats because season-long stats has everything combined, highs and lows throughout the season. So you might have, if you think about it, a lot of seasonal stats are quite skewed, especially when teams go on long winning streaks or long losing streaks. I don't think it tells the whole story about the team. So that's why I keep it 10 games and under for the most part, just to clarify that. You know what I mean? I know you didn't mean anything by it. I just wanted anybody else who might have heard me say that I didn't want to be that misleading about it, because shots on goal really, in the whole grand scheme of things, don't mean shit, man. Right? Jared, anything else on the slate, man? You want to get out of here?
No, it's been quite long enough. Cole's hungry. Raiders fans hungry. I'm hungry. So, yeah, let's get out of there, and good luck tomorrow, guys. A lot of plays out there, and certainly I'm looking at probably four different real good stacks and 4 teams there.
All right, I agree with you. Good luck to everyone out there. Before we get out, if you like the video, click on a thumbs up for us, man. Subscribe to the channel. Share the video out there amongst all your friends and your peers, your coworkers, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your kids, whoever you might need. Get everybody on here checking us out. We want to hit that 100 subscriber mark. Give away a free hat. That's our goal. That's what we're after. To all the normals, usuals, the degenerates, so to speak, here on the Quarry channel. We appreciate it. Call, Raiders fan, Kevin, everybody was in tonight commenting. We appreciate it. And with that being said, good luck to everyone tomorrow. This is a massive slate. Dig into it, dive into it, but above and beyond everything else, if you are not a mass multi-entering DFS player, I can only give you one tip. Take a stand. Take a stand somewhere, build your lineup, take a stand, and stick with it and ride it out. Other than that, good night to everybody. Good luck tomorrow, and we'll see you again tomorrow night.